Hi everybody, Phil here, bus old man Phil that is. Want to add a little more to the PA Amp videos that I did a couple of weeks ago. Collie Candle over in the UK sent me a video clip showing a system he adapted to his bus consisting of this 1MII wireless microphone. This is the whole name of it, the whole thing. This is the headset microphone and the transmitter, and this is the receiver. Which will plug in to your bus PA amp. These two pieces are the whole microphone system. Very neat. This really surprised me. I did not know something this simple existed. It's available on Amazon, and I'll try to hold it right side up so you see what I'm doing here. There is a rechargeable battery in this unit, and here is the USB charger port. Come on, camera, kick in, kick in. Anyway, and here's the USB charger port for the transmitter. Believe it or not, I have enough lighting in this room for a Hollywood studio, and it's still hard to see. Anyway, contains an off-on switch, which also doesn't show on the camera. I know what I can do. I know what I can do. Here we go, people. Now we're gonna get some light on this subject, I think. Well, maybe not. Whatever. You'll see it. This is available on Amazon. Just type in type in 1M. That's the number 1, the capital M, and 2 lowercase i's. M1II wireless mic UHF. I'll check this video and see if it shows up later. I guess you can see it there, as steady as I am. If you can't see it long enough, just use your pause button. Okay? Under 30 bucks. That's pretty good. This is totally amazing. So, what I did was temporarily, with a whole bunch of clips, like these test leads, we used to be able to get these at Radio Shack. They're excellent for experimenting around with your bus and for doing tests. They're still available from Amazon. Packages of, I believe it's 5 or 6 in various colors. You should get 3 or 4 packages of these. Believe me, I lose them right and left. So these are available on Amazon, these clip leads, and I recommend that you get yourself 3 or 4 packages of these. You're going to need them when you do electrical work on your buses. Okay? So what I did was create a bunch of test leads to hook this transmitter to the mobile page amplifier. Now, those of you who have MCI buses with the REI systems, you still have the, hi baby, here's my little girl Maggie. Hi baby, hello baby. You still have the 4-pin XLR system on your bus, unless somebody screwed it up and change something, which is time for me to get on my soapbox here and talk to you about that. We are men, and we have our egos, and we can't own something that somebody else had unless we do something to mark it up for ourselves. So we'll change things. We'll tear out a PA system and put in something else because we don't know how to fix the one that's there. Or we'll hang a bunch of lights on it to change. Or we'll install a stupid tachometer staring us in the face. Anything to make the bus marked so it's ours now. Well, let me tell you, that doesn't fit me. I get a bus, my purpose is to restore it the way it was built. The companies that built buses spent a lot of money on engineers designing things. When they came from the factory, they worked good, everything worked good, everything looked good, and the first owners of the buses were satisfied them and ran them a long time, and then they sold them to guys like you who started changing stuff so you could own it. Okay, well, you own the bus, keep it original. You will learn to enjoy it much more when you haven't stuck holes and screwed things in and wired up stuff. Okay, so the MCI coaches have this XLR. So I went ahead and wired up an XLR plug, and I put this little slide switch. By the way, these are also available on Amazon, really cheap. Get a half a dozen of them. You can give them to your friends. They make great Christmas gifts to your buddy bus operators and bus owners. So this little slide switch turns the amp on. This turns the amp off. It does not disconnect the microphone. I have put no switches in the microphone circuit because anything you do in that mic circuit is going to introduce hum into the system. So this is a shielded cable from pins 2 and 3, which is the microphone and the XLR connection. That's standard on all the MCI coaches, and it's standard on all the mobile page amplifiers that you'll find scattered throughout all the brands of coaches and city transits. I happen to like city transit buses because they're very handy, they're easy to get around, they're fun to load up your friends and drive around town with them. And the insurance is cheap, and they're cheap to operate. The coaches are great if you want to modify them into a motorhome, or if you want to go on long trips. They're a lot of fun. They cost a lot more, and those of you who own buses know that they're money pits, but we have a lot of fun with them anyway. Anyway, so here is the end that plugs into the PA amp, either on your MCI motor coach, where it plugs in down by the driver's seat or wherever it is. And this is a shielded 4-conductor wire, and I have interrupted 2 of the wires, the red and the black, to key the PA amp. So the PA amp is wherever it is. When you're ready to start using it, you would slide this switch. That energizes the PA amp. See, I've just soldered these wires here. This is very low voltage. You can wrap something around here or build up a little shield of some kind of mastic or something to hide those terminals, which I will do later. And then don't interrupt the microphone wires. See how I've just stuffed the whole cable between the switch terminals and run the microphone wires into this little assembly here. And I've soldered the microphone wires inside there, I meant to keep this loose so you could see that. It's a good idea to use a pencil soldering iron with a temperature control, or a Weller, a 120 watt Weller. Here's how I've soldered the little pin connections. And I know I'm old and shaky, and I'm using this selfie side of the camera, and I notice that the autofocus doesn't work as well with the selfie side. But those of you who have seen my previous videos know I had an awful time trying to make things clear. So I'll do what I can with what I have here. This is a 3.5 millimeter or 1/8 inch mono, not stereo, mono phone plug. You can use stereo phone plugs if you want, but be sure that you don't wire the ring. You wire the tip and the sleeve, not the ring if you're using a stereo phone plug. This end is what the transmitter plugs into. Just like that. This end plugs into your bus PA system, whether you're using a mobile page or a bus with a built-in REI system. And I don't know of any other audio systems right now besides mobile page and REI. But the standard, in my experience, has been this 4-pin XLR. The function of the 4 pins is pin number 1 keys the amp. Pin number 2 is the microphone hot. Pin number 3 is the microphone cold. Pin number 4 is the amp keyed ground, okay? Pin number 3 and pin number 4 do not relate to each other for the purpose of audio input and turning the amp on and off. There's a little different system that works with the double pole, double throw microphones that I talked about on the last video. So here's your whole cotton picking system right there. That's the whole thing. And here is your headset mic. It can go on either way. It can go like this. Now be careful where you have this microphone, because if it's in front of your face, you're going to hear the from your breathing, because your nose is exhaling right down into the microphone. Also, with this right up against your mouth, the P's are going to pop and the S's are going to so keep this microphone about an inch away from your mic. Get it on your head the best way it feels. These bands are not very strong, I can tell you that right now. I might even find myself wearing a cap to hold the microphone on. Anyway, so this is how you're going to do it. And you're going to be walking around your bus talking to all your people just like this, because you have keyed up the amplifier with this little switch, and you have the receiver or the transmitter. You could call it a transmitter because it sends signals. I'm sorry, it's a receiver. It receives signals from the microphone, which is the transmitter. I'm sorry, I've been saying that wrong. This is the transmitter. This receives UHF signals from this and feeds the audio signal into your PA amplifier. Okay, so that's how that works. So let me demonstrate this now. I'm going to plug this into this PA amp. This is an old mobile page amp that I got out of one of the buses. And so let me see if I have the main power. I have a 12 volt DC power supply that is on. So now what happens next, by the way, let me show you this. I think this might be a good idea for you to mark the switch so you know where it is. You see, I have on and off. I've labeled the switch so that you can see. Seems to show up the best when it's on a white background. So I have labeled the switch. Up is off. If you'll notice, if you have your original equipment REI bus microphones, you'll notice that to turn it off, you slide the switch up. I don't know why they did it that way, but I've seen that in other microphones too. So the switch on your REI microphone is off when it's up and on when it's on. So I'm going to plug this in now, and you may be able to hear the amp come on when I flip the switch. Let's listen. You hear that? The amp is on now. And right now, this receiver is turned off and my headset is turned off. So if you slide the little switch on the headset and the little switch on the amp, you will see a blue flashing light briefly. Then you will see a solid blue light. That tells you that the transmitter here in your headset has coupled with the receiver on your amplifier. Okay, now, I think you can hear me. By the way, guys, forgive me for saying now all the time. I don't know why I do that. It's just a bit. Okay, I'm walking over to the speaker now, and you can hear me now through the speaker. So I'm walking away. I'm over on the other side of my man cave now, and now I'm walking back. I'm coming back into the scene. Do you hear how well this sounds now? This isn't bad at all. Now here's what happens if I get the microphone up to my face. Do you like the sound of that PA amp when the microphone is right in front of your mouth? And I know you guys do it because I hear you on ham radio all the time. I hear you on your telephones all the time with that microphone in your mouth. And this is what you sound like to other people. You may think you sound wonderful. You may have a Rock Hudson voice, but too bad, guys. If you don't keep that microphone away from your mouth, you're going to sound like hell. And now, notice that I can talk very quietly, and you can hear me very nicely. Or I can shout and scream without any distortion, without the P's popping. You don't hear me breathing, and you don't hear the S's slurring. So that's how we do it. Now, when you're all through talking, just reach over and flip your little microphone switch off. And boom, there we are. Nothing to it. Go slow, go easy. Let me know if you have a problem. But thank you very much, Collie Candle, over there in the motherland. That's a great setup. So now when I'm through, I turn the switch off and I remove this. And I'll tell you why I removed this. I removed this and put it away because I don't want anything to happen to it. I put time and trouble into soldering up all these things and doing it as neatly as you can. If you're not familiar with soldering, get some pieces of wire and get some solder. I showed you the kind of solder that this is available at hardware stores. This is Burns-O-Matic brand solder. And this is for electronic equipment. You see it says electrical solder. Contains lead. You must have that in there. This has to be a 60-40 lead concentrate. And you don't have to eat it. You don't have to feed it for your children. And it won't kill you if you don't feed it to your children. And if you don't eat it yourself, the lead in this solder will not kill you. And you're going to need that to make nice soldering. So go to the hardware store or Menards or Home Depot or whatever else and pick up a roll of this solder, get a bunch of wires together, and practice your soldering. Now, this is my favorite tool. This is the one I go by. This is what I want, is the Weller 120. I don't care for the little pencil guns like these because they overheat. Unless you have one of those soldering stations, these things are tricky to use because they overheat and eventually they burn up. You can already see, I've used this probably for less than an hour and already it's starting to corrode. So I prefer this soldering gun. I've been using these for 70 years. I got my first electric soldering gun, my first Weller gun, when I was 12 years old, 70 years ago. Okay? There you have it. So here's the system. It's available on Amazon. And this is what Collie Candle, that's quite a handle, Collie Candle. This is what he got. I don't remember where he said he got it. And these are the old amplifiers that the buses use. I'll show you one of the newer mobile page amplifiers that are for sale today. You can buy these and the price is reasonable. 80 bucks for a brand new mobile page amplifier. Isn't that something? And this will go in any bus. This particular model and everything available now will run on either a 12 or a 24 volt negative ground system. Now, I discussed this with you before about negative ground. If you have an older bus, like a 4104 or anything, the older yellow coaches, all those older buses had 12 volt positive ground. Don't change it if you haven't already. Just leave it alone. Just learn how to fix stuff the way it is. I know you're getting tired of hearing that, but just relax because you're going to hear it all along. People call me and to talk about their buses, and I assume that it's original equipment bus, and they're asking for advice. And the first thing I said, who screwed up the electrical system? Well, I got it that way. It was 12 volt positive. Somebody changed it to negative, and now I can't get anything to work. Leave the damn thing alone the way it came from the factory. You'll learn how to fix it. So you need to mount these amplifiers on a piece of wood, like a piece of a 1x6 or a 1x4 board, so that you can screw the amplifier to the board and mount the board somewhere on the bus. Because this will short out on a positive ground system. I don't know why they had to do that, but my guess is to prevent hum, because mobile systems pick up AC energy from everywhere and hum. So you'll want to mount this on a board. These are very simple systems. The yellow and the black are the speakers. The red and the green are the power. So this red is positive. On your older bus with a positive ground, this is the ground wire, the red one. You got to keep that in mind. You're going to have to keep that in mind, that red wires in the older positive ground systems is the ground wire, and the green wire on these amps is the hot wire. And these two are speaker wires. Now I'm going to stop right here and tell you a little bit about speakers. If your bus isn't already wired for speakers and you intend to install speakers, I brought this up on the previous video, but you'll want a speaker on each side of the middle of the bus. Place the first two speakers on the right and the left side in the middle, not in front. You do not need speakers up front. You are up front, and they can hear you fine. All you get out of speakers up front is feedback. Feedback, noise, squealing, and howling that comes into the microphone from the speakers right over the head where you're standing. So put 2 speakers in the middle of the bus and 2 speakers in the very back of the bus on each side. You want the speakers in the very back of the bus because that's where the noise from the engine is. So now, be sure you keep the polarity of your speakers correct. So, if you're going to use the yellow wire for a common, that's fine. You can use the black for a common. I prefer using the black for a common wire because it's more common. Black wires ordinarily are the return side of an electrical circuit. And be sure that the little terminals on your speakers and the color of your wires match. Don't reverse them. Don't hook up one way and one the other way. The reason why is the speakers are out of phase and the speaker cones are vibrating in opposite directions. That can create a hearing effect that sounds like static or a weak voice. So be sure you keep your speakers phased properly. So let's say the yellow wire goes down the left side of the bus to the middle speaker and to the speaker in back. And the black wire goes down the same side of the bus to the middle and the back speaker, but be sure that you keep the yellow one on the right terminal and the black one on the left terminal. On the other side of the bus, do the same thing. Now what you'll have is a PA system that does not feedback from you being close to the speakers, and everybody can hear you. You turn up the volume on your PA system, which is this control here, or on your MCI buses and other buses, on the instrument panel, the button that raises or lowers the speaker volume, or on this little receiver or transmitter here somewhere. Here it is right here. There's a little microphone switch that clicks, and I'll turn everything back on again, and you can see that the microphone volume control can be operated right from your headset. Okay? Now, let's get this turned back on again. Oh, it's already on. They're not coupled. Okay? This is flashing. That means it didn't couple. What happened was I turned off the receiver, but I didn't turn off the headset, so they lost contact. So turn this off, count to 5, and back on again, and watch the flickering button, the flickering light rather. See, it comes on steady. Okay, now I turn the amp back on, you see? Here we are, and now we're talking again. But what I've done is I've clicked this little volume control here, and it's turned the volume down on the speaker. You see how I do? So if I put this on my head like this, and I can't be heard in the back of the bus, and how I know that is because I cannot hear myself through the PA system. So click the upper button, hear that? And you see I'm increasing the volume. And if I have this up all the way and you still don't hear me in the back of the bus, come back to your amplifier and turn it up. That's what happens when you get it turned up too high. Check your microphone, make sure your microphone is okay. Now, if you can hear yourself loud and clear from the speakers in the back of the bus, then you know people can hear you. If you're going to be shy, if your mic's shy, and if you don't hear yourself, and your mic's shy, you're afraid you're too loud, you're afraid you're obnoxious or something. If you think you're obnoxious, then just comb your hair and wear some makeup so you look cute. And that'll get over your obnoxiousness, okay? For those of you who are comfortable with yourselves, you get the mic up where it belongs, and you can hear yourself loud and clear, then your passengers will also hear you. So that's how you hook up a PA system. Make yourself a little adapter, and it'll plug you into your MCI or any other 4-pin XLR system on your bus. And that will do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to your questions. And Maggie says, say hi to the people, Maggie. Say hi, people. And that'll do it for now. Have a good day, everybody. Have fun with your buses. And remember, try to keep them original. Stop tearing out the speedometers. Just fix the one they came with. Don't put in a stupid RPM tachometer. You don't need that. The speed of your bus is controlled by the speed of your engine and the gear you're in. And don't smear lights and mirrors all over it. You come down the street looking like a party bus, you'll get stopped by the cops and they'll throw you in jail because they don't know who you are and what you're doing and what that crazy looking machine is. Did this used to be a bus? My God, what did you do to it? Looks like something that you raided a junkyard. Okay, thanks. See y'all, bus old boy, bus old man, and all you bus guys. Phil here. Sim Salabim.